I'm going to be sharing with you exactly what happened with the money that I decided to throw into Pancake Swap. So essentially what I did is I invested into cake. No, not that cake, but this cake. And then I put that cake into a staking pool, and I wanted to test out exactly how much money I'd make after a whole year. But along the way, I saw that there's a lot of demand and people talking about this and their curiosity with this, especially on my TikTok. So I wanted to share what I've learned so far and exactly what Pancake Swap is and how you can do it too. And I'll also share with you the exact results on whether we've lost money, made money, or broke even. So the first thing that you got to remember is that PancakeSwap is a decentralized exchange that exists on the Binance network. And it happens to have the highest trading volume out of the decentralized exchanges that are out there on the market today. And the nice thing is that because it runs on the Binance chain, it actually has the lowest cost when it comes to fees when you transact cake with other coins than almost any other exchange out there. Unlike more popular networks like Bitcoin or Ethereum, which have much higher fees when transacting cryptos. Also, unlike centralized exchanges like Binance or Coinbase, which technically hold onto the crypto for you, on PancakeSwap, you actually hold the cryptos 100% of the time, which is really nice from a security and trust perspective. Now that you know how the exchange process works, how are people raking in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70% on PancakeSwap? Well, in order for PancakeSwap to actually function properly, you need to have cake staked onto the network. And what that allows people to do is to actually transact back and forth. When this process happens, the tiny bit of fees that are taken from the network in order to make these transactions goes back to the individuals that are staking their cake tokens. So essentially, the people that are staking are allowing the liquidity to be there in order for other people to transact on the network. And in return, what they're getting back is the fees that are distributed equally between all the people that are staking cake. Now, of course, the APY that you're receiving for staking your cake on their network goes up and down greatly. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that if more people are transacting on the network and less people are staking their cake, then the people that are staking are going to get a higher APY. And the inverse is also true. So if less people are using PancakeSwap and more people are putting cake onto the platform, well, that will have an inverse effect on the APY that everyone receives. So when I first started doing this, I was roughly around 69%, and now we're sitting around 67%. Regardless, 67% is still an absolutely ridiculous APY and beats traditional banks by an absolute huge margin. So after learning about cake and exactly how it all works, I saw that as an opportunity. So I bought up $1,000 worth of cake, which is this many cake tokens, and I put them into one of the pools, returning around 67% per year. And since that time, it's been roughly about 2 months. So let's talk about exactly what happened since then. And I think it'll be very important for you guys to look at the graph so that way you guys can see exactly where I bought cake and exactly where it sits today. So as you can see, from the moment I bought cake, it has gone down significantly, down to $12, which is roughly about a 33 to 40% decrease since the time that I bought it. Obviously, the tokens that I had bought for $1,000 have decreased in value pretty significantly, right? But at the same time, since it's only been 2 months, I haven't quite up made the difference on the APY that I've received. But here is the exact amount of APY that I have received so far just by staking my cake tokens. But a thing that you got to consider is that not only did cake just drop in price, and it's not that it's extremely volatile. In fact, it's actually been increasing in value in the last year, as you saw from the chart before. But the thing to remember is that the entire global market cap of all cryptocurrencies is also roughly around 30 to 40% from its all-time highs as well. So knowing all that information, you can kind of gauge the risk levels and exactly what might happen in the future as more people end up using cake, aka PancakeSwap, or just the Binance chain in general versus maybe something like Ethereum or Bitcoin. Remember, it's only been roughly about 2 months. So this series is definitely going to be an ongoing series. I'll probably do another update video at the 6-month mark since we'll be halfway there to our final goal of 12 months. And depending on the price action of cake, I might even add double the amount of cake tokens that I originally had invested, especially if the price of cake continues to drop. drop alongside most other cryptocurrencies. Now, before you go out and do this for yourself, let's talk exactly about what the risks and the rewards are to doing something like this. Of course, the obvious risk is exactly what happened to me and a lot of people like me, where they bought Cake and started to stake it, but maybe they bought it 6 or 8 months ago when the price of Cake was a lot higher, maybe around $20 or $30 per Cake, and now it's sitting a lot less at around $12 per Cake token, and their dollar amount value that they put into these tokens has dropped significantly. Now, that is a huge risk, and I caution anyone doing this that might happen at any point. So that is a very big risk that you got to consider. Now, of course, the other risk is that nobody uses PancakeSwap any further. Now, of course, that would require another decentralized exchange to take over all of that volume. And so far, I don't see that happening. But if it were to actually happen, that is another very big risk, not only to Cake, the token itself, but also the pools and the farms that exist on the network. So if you're earning 67% right now and everyone just stops using it overnight, well, that could go down to 0. And that would hurt anybody that is staking or even holding onto Cake. And I know those are some pretty big risks, but of course the opposite is true as well. And here are the upsides. Again, the most obvious one is that Cake just absolutely skyrockets in value like it did just a few months ago. The other complementary upside is that if more people come onto the network, well, that would mean that more APY is going to be accrued. And personally, I see this as a very likely outcome because of the crazy ridiculous fees that we're seeing on networks like Ethereum, for example. And the other most obvious reward, and this is why most people are considering doing this or even looking into it, maybe this is why you're watching the video, is that the ridiculous APY that you get and the fact that it's beating most traditional banks by a landslide. Now, if you see that as a reward and you don't think that it's going to drop to 0, well, then there is a possibility that you might want to at least try this out. And I would love to hear from you if you do, or what your journey has been if you had. Now, obviously, you would have not had a great time if you started this about 8-9 months ago. And that is why I wanted to make this video, is to show you guys the reality of staking. It's not always so glamorous where you're making thousands of dollars every single month just by having your currencies staked. That's why I personally like the less volatile cryptocurrencies and the ones that have maybe more reasonable results when it comes to staking, like 4% or 5%, maybe like Algorand or Cosmos, things like that. And it's not to say that I don't like Cake and I won't continue investing in Cake. I just wanted to do this as an experiment for myself, and also I get to make a cool video for you guys. And if you want to learn how to actually go through the process step by step and possibly buy Cake and maybe put it on the platform and then go ahead and stake your own Cake tokens in order to receive that juicy APY, make sure you watch this video on the screen right here. And if you haven't already, don't forget to smash the subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this, make sure to smash the like button as well. I hope to see you guys in the next episode. Thank you all so much for watching. Peace out.